It's a support for safety. I believe it's a support for the economy. And I believe it's a support for progress and certainly a vision for the future in terms of Pittsburg State. So if this comes down to a discussion of convenience versus safety, there is no contest. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman?
Yes. Somebody just turn the air. I just dropped the air on. Get a coat.
Chairman.
The purpose.
Move that sign.
Are you done with that?
I think I'm done.
Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak in support of the, in support of the vacation request? Is there anyone else that would like to speak in support?
Right. Well, I'd like to, I've got the Pittsburgh paper here. It says that we're going to discuss at 7 o'clock tonight the closing of Joplin. Or are we still on that? I got lost.
Well, gotta pay attention.
Well, I did. I went to sleep, but
All right.
we got a financial report. Are we going to
Okay.
discuss Joplin?
No one else is in favor. With that being said, anyone anyone against this proposal?
Yes.
And to avoid repetition, we need a spokesperson for, we don't want to hear the same things over and over again, so can we be fair about that? I mean,
Well, we've been listening to you all for quite some time. I don't know why you'd want to limit us.
well, but there's 100 of you out there.
Excuse me.
Wait,
Somebody can speak. and somebody has
Everyone
something
should be able
different
to
offer,
speak, should be
then
able to
let
have
that person
input,
say
but
it.
we'd like not to have a lot of repetition about it.
I'll speak. I mean,
You state your name, please, sir.
sure. I don't know where you want me to stand, but
That's fine.
my name's Jeff Hoffman. I live in South Homer. I'm not a speaker, so if I make mistakes and step on my tongue, I apologize. But just, there's a couple of things. We talked about the master plan. I don't know, I've talked to some people through here that they've seen the master plan, and I don't think that the full master plan has been disclosed to you guys and even to the city commissioners of closing Homer. We met at a meeting 2 years ago, 3 different times, and I'm sure you're all familiar with me when I spoke up then too. There's several things that's objective in the master plan. And I really don't want to talk about those tonight because I think this is going to last a little bit farther. 3 of the things, and that's one of them, but 3 of the things that Dr. Bryant said, and I'm not here to argue with Dr. Bryant, I'm here to ask questions to see if you guys can enlighten us on, as far as closing Joplin Street. One of them, he said that 66% of the people on campus was on campus of the 7,000 or 8,000. 7,000 is right. You said 66% of those people are on campus every day.
66% of
Okay.
students are full-time students.
Of that 66%, how many people actually come across Joplin Street? Because on the west side, where you have across from Mormons, the fraternities, and everybody else, there's probably just as much or a high percentage of those people coming across Broadway. If there's a safety concern, I think it needs to be on both sides. So if, I think we're isolating just on Homer for Joplin just for some reason. The other thing is, if we're really concerned about the safety part of it, on game day, which I'm just as big a fan as anybody else in here, but if it's a safety issue, the people, the children, and so forth, they're in the brown parking lot with, and I have nothing against people drinking because they're out there having a good time, but that is just as big a risk as someone getting hurt, especially with children there, than it is on Joplin Street any other time. There was a comment made that they were so concerned about safety that we have 3 full-time people there between midnight and 8 in the morning. Of that, I'd sort of like to know, because I mean, this is sort of sarcastic on saying this, but if it's a concern of those 3 people there, how many people are on Joplin Street for the safety people that's going from 12 o'clock at night till 8 o'clock in the morning? Now, I've lived on both sides. Right now, I'm living on California Street, and I use Joplin Street quite a bit. On Homer, I went the other way, but I'm still going north. if it's a big safety problem and it's a concern about the students, then we all have elementary schools here in town and they have crossing guards. Now that sounds pretty childish, but if you have someone out there that's stopping traffic for our adults that's going to school, and that happens, the people like me that's either going to say this is inconvenient, I'm going to go someplace else, or I'm going to wait my turn. The point being is if you shut that down from 8 o'clock to 3:30 in the afternoon, and these kids or these adults are secure, then the road stays open from 3:30 on, because there's a lot of people use that go north and south both ways, and it's open on Saturday and Sunday. I can talk to you forever on this. Anyway.
All right, Kate? Go ahead.
I hear about PSU's master plan. I'm sorry, my name's Marcia Weeks, 1509 South College. And we hear a lot about PSU's master plan, but I think we also need to think about Pittsburgh's master plan. I think it's ironic that we're talking about closing Joplin Street. I'm a very frequent visitor to Joplin itself, and Joplin has a massive problem on Range Line because there are no through streets between Main Street and Range Line, and so basically the entire Range Line is bumper to bumper traffic. I don't know what Joplin's going to do in 10 years. Everywhere the population is booming, and we're going to have the same kind of problem if we close Joplin Street. There's not going to be any roads open between Broadway and Rouse, and I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot, and it's inconvenient.
My name's Chuck Delp. I live here in Pittsburgh, and I also am in charge of a business on Joplin Street. My problem right now is availability of transportation, being able to get around in Pittsburgh. We went through the short period of time when Joplin was closed, so we were lucky or unlucky enough to have a test drive on this. We found major problems. Having to, it cost us quite a bit of money, increased mileage, increased fuel cost. From an ecological standpoint, I can't see the basis behind this. From a safety standpoint, I don't understand. In the time that I've lived in Pittsburgh, it seems like the only major accidents / deaths that we've had in the PSU area have been on Broadway. If safety's the issue, then it seems like we should be talking about closing Broadway instead of Joplin. I'm afraid that it's going to create a massive bottleneck. My feeling is that if PSU is expanding and growing, they would want more access rather than less, which I'm afraid is what they're going to get if they close Joplin.
Thank you. You, sir?
Bob Stahl. I live at 2003 South Elm. And I've been concerned about the business about safety. On Joplin Street, you've got a 20 mile an hour speed limit. You've got 4 stop signs. You've got 5 crosswalks that are pretty well open. And we've had no accidents. On Broadway, we've had people killed. It's a 30 mile an hour speed limit. It's got 1 stoplight, no stop signs, no yellow flashing lights. And if you pick the day and drive down there, and I'm telling you, those kids are not paying any attention. And they just see that crosswalk and there you go. A few weeks ago, there was Joplin had MSSU had a little accident, I guess, with a girl down there. And what happened was, evidently, from what I read, was that she stepped through, it was a 4-lane road, and she stepped through and the car stopped here and blocked this driver's view. He couldn't see her. And when she came out, boom, they hit. Well, we can understand how that can happen. Broadway